Hello, welcome back. In the last tutorial, we learned how to add door and windows to our project. In this video, we will learn how to add a floor to the model. So, to add floor, we can either remain in the 3D view or we can switch back to a floor plan. So, let us try adding floor first in the 3D view. So, to add a floor, you need to go to Architecture tab and then select floor. So we are building a architecture floor. So we will select floor architecture. So first we choose boundary line and let us pick the line command. And we take the top view so that we can see the plans in walls. And let's start building your floor. So this is one option where you can build the lines. If you know you already have wall reference, then you can choose pick line option. So instead of drawing the lines, you can pick the lines. Also, there are other options which you can use to draw your sketch. But let us finish this sketch for floor. At some areas, we need to trim back the sketch lines. So we can choose the trim command. And once done, you can check your sketches and say finish. But before we hit finish, let us check on which level we are creating because we are in the 3D view. So by default, Revit has picked level 00 and we are fine with level 00. So let's say okay. So you now have a floor. Now, once you have built a floor, you can change its type as required in your project. So for now, what we want to do in floor, let us edit this floor and we will call its name ground bearing slab. Okay. So in ground bearing slab, what we will do is like we will keep some damp proof course and then let's take off the air part. We will keep some rigid insulation and we will keep some finishing at the top, which is fine. And then will not have a precast floor, so we'll just remove this. We will have some concrete masonry flooring which will be around 200, and we'll put 100 of insulation and we'll do 50 for the finishing. So let's hit OK, and now we have a floor built up. Now, this is easy. If you want to build a floor for level 1, then either you go to architecture tab and do follow the same steps, or you can pick this floor, you can go to modify tab, you copy this, you say I want to paste this on a selected level which is level 1, and you get a floor over there. But we don't want to put that much of insulation and other things. So let's say we make a just 150 thick slab at level 1. And here we will going to remove this finishing, insulation, DPC. We'll just keep the 150 deep concrete and we'll change its material to say just concrete cast in situ instead of masonry. Okay, and now you can see your walls are popping into the slab. So there are two options. You can choose to eliminate this clash. You select a wall and either you remove some from the top offset. So we know that the slab is 150. So let us stop this wall 150 below level 1. So it avoids the clash. Or As an alternative, you can select all the walls and you say I wants to attach its top or base. So I wants to attach top, and let's select the slab. So all your walls will going to be attached to the top of the floor. Now let us see, in case you wants to move a ramp or something outside your building. So let us go to the entrance of our building, and let's suppose we wants to put some slopes here. So let us pick a floor, and then let us use the rectangular, and let us just made a floor. So now you see this is a floor which is flat. So if we take a elevation, go to annotate tab and pick spot elevation. So this says this is on a 0 0 level. Now if we want to give some slope here, so we'll pick this slab, edit it, and then we'll select slope arrow, and we'll build a slope arrow. You can build it anywhere. So we will take a top view, and we will try to maintain that we make a straight arrow. Now if you pick the slope arrow, you will see it says that what level you want at the tail, which is this, and this is its head. So what level at head? So at tail it is taking 300 as height, and at head it is just keeping at level 0. So when I'll say I have finishing the sketch, it will going to create one level at 300 and one level at 0. So let us try hitting OK. And if we check the elevation, and if we go to a side elevation, you see it has provided a slope. What we said at the head that we will keep 0, and we will going to increase the tail to 300. Now let us take the spot coordinates option back again, and let's check. So this is at 300 and this is at 0 0. Now either you can move this down to level 0 0 to match with our floor, or what you can do is you go to this and you say I want my tail at 0 but drop the head minus 300 and hit OK. So you don't need to change your slab in elevation. So it's at 0 0, but it's dropping to a certain level. Let us pick this floor, go to level 0 0, and let's edit the remaining slope. So let's say we just leave the entrance, and then we just make this in the slope. Now you see we have two closed sketches and we have one slope arrow, but this slope arrow will going to act to these both sketches area. So this will be considered as one slab, and we will going to have same slope in both the slabs because it is ultimately one piece. So when I finish OK, you can see that they both have some slope. Now let us match these slab, or should I say one slab. I will match with our slab which we have created. So now the bottom matches, right? Okay. Now the third thing which we just saw when we were doing the first slab was the span direction. So just for the reference, let us go to either structure tab or architecture tab, and let's pick the flow which is structural floor. So we'll pick structural floor, And just purpose of seeing the value of span direction, we will going to build a small floor. Let's say we build a small floor here. So you see, by default, Revit has given us this line which has two parallel lines on either side. This indicates the span direction. So your floor is going to support on this and this line. If I delete this and if I try creating one boundary line here back again, you notice Revit is creating a span symbol because that is necessary. And if I try creating it here, and if I finish it with a different line and take off the sketch which was having the span direction, and if I try to close the slab, I will going to get error which says that floor span direction not specified. So now what I need to do is I need to go to span direction. I need to pick or either draw the span direction. So if I pick the span direction, I'll say either this line, so it becomes a span direction line. Let's hit finish. So you have a floor. This floor is overlapping with one of our floors. That's why we are getting some warnings, which you can see here. So we will just edit this floor and we will rectify its boundary. Now we don't have any sort of errors. Okay, so we just created this floor for reference, so we are just eliminating this. In floors, if you need to create any voids, you can pick the floor, and if within a closed boundary, if you create one more closed boundary, it becomes a void. So let us go to level 1, and for our staircase let us create some void. So we create a void here just for the opening of our staircase at level 1. Let's hit finish. So you see it has created a void in the flow. You can also create voids by different means in Revit, which we will going to learn in next sessions. Thank you.